You upgraded to the newest Claude, you typed in your prompt, and you got back an answer that felt fine. Not amazing. Not the jaw drop everyone on your timeline was bragging about. And here's the part nobody tells you. It's almost never the model that's the problem. It's that Opus 4.8 has a whole set of hidden dials. Effort, fast mode, workflows, and if you don't know they exist, you're driving a Ferrari in first gear. I spent the last week digging through every setting, and once I flipped the right switches, the difference was honestly kind of ridiculous. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to use Claude Opus 4.8, what's actually new, which settings matter, and the specific tricks that get you those frontier-level results instead of generic ones. We'll cover the new features, the modes you should be touching, and real examples you can copy today. First up, the headline upgrade everyone's talking about, and why it changes what you can even ask Claude to do in the first place. What Opus 4.8 actually is. Let's set the stage, because the spec sheet here matters more than it usually does. Claude Opus 4.8 dropped on May 28th, 2026. And it's Anthropic's new flagship, the model they're calling their most capable yet for complex reasoning, long horizon coding, and high autonomy work. On paper, that sounds like every model launch ever. But stick with me, because two numbers change the whole conversation. The first is the context window, 1 million tokens. That's the largest in any publicly available model right now, paired with up to 128,000 tokens of output. In plain terms, you can feed this thing an entire codebase, a stack of contracts, or months of conversation history, and it holds all of it in its head at once. The second number is the one I care about even more. It's a feature called adaptive thinking, where the model decides on its own how hard to work on a given task. Simple question, it answers fast. Gnarly multi-step problem, it quietly reasons through it step by step before responding. And here's where it gets interesting. In Anthropic's own benchmarks, 4.8 doesn't just beat the previous Opus 4.7, it edges out GPT 5.5 on a bunch of metrics too, landing around 69% versus 64% on agentic coding tests. It runs at the same price as 4.7. It's available through the API as Claude-Opus-4-8, and it's live on the Pro, Max, and Team plans. So the power is sitting right there, in your account. The question is whether you know how to actually pull it out, which is exactly what the rest of this video is about. Quick pause before we move on. Because if you use AI for actual work, not just lunch ideas, but research, strategy, the stuff that actually matters, you've probably caught yourself doing this. You ask ChatGPT something, the answer sounds great, but something feels off. So you open Claude, then maybe Gemini, same prompt, 3 tabs, just to make sure you're not about to act on a confident-sounding wrong answer. Trust me, I've done this for months. And here's the part most people miss. The issue isn't that AI is bad. The issue is that one model is just not enough anymore for anything judgment-heavy. Different models reason differently. They catch different gaps. And if you're only ever asking one of them, you're basically flipping a coin on whether you got the best answer or just the first one. So I started using Cuey, and it pretty much solved this. It's a Chrome extension that lives right inside ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, the tools you already use. You send your prompt like normal, and Cuey quietly checks the other models in the background. If a stronger answer is out there, it surfaces. Right there, same tab. No copy-paste circus. Auto mode. Let me show you what I mean. Here's the thing. Sometimes you ask a question, and you don't even realize a second opinion would help. That's where Cuey's auto mode comes in. Watch this. I'll ask ChatGPT something that sounds totally simple. I live 50 meters from the car wash. Should I walk or drive there? ChatGPT gives me an answer, but look right underneath it. Cuey's already noticed this is the kind of question where models actually disagree, and it surfaces a Compare Anyway button right below the response. One click, and I can see what Claude and Gemini said without ever leaving the tab. That's the moment you realize how much you've been missing by trusting the first answer. Meld. Now here's the other one I use constantly. Meld. Say you've already run a comparison. Like, I asked for the best Thai restaurants in Vancouver, and now I've got ChatGPT's answer on the left, and Cuey's side panel answers from Claude and Gemini on the right. They each got bits right, but no single one is the answer I want to keep. Here's the move. Open the Cuey side panel, scroll all the way down to the end of the answer, and you'll see the Meld button tucked at the very bottom of that text block. Click it, and Cuey fuses the best parts of every model's answer into one merged response. The strongest picks, the caught risks, the extra context, all in one place. No more reading 3 answers and stitching them in your head. Why it actually works. Here's where it gets even better. Every model is unlocked from day one, even on the free plan. GPT-5, Claude Opus, Gemini Pro, Grok, all of it. Plans are based on how often you compare, not which models you can touch. Your memory becomes portable across tools too, and it's privacy first. No prompt logging, no training on your data.
Link is in the description. Use code BIT60 for 90 days of Cuey Pro free. The full thing, not a stripped trial.
Try it on the next prompt that actually matters. You'll feel it on the first comparison.
All right, back to the video.
What's new? The features that matter. Okay, so what did Anthropic actually change under the hood? There's a list, but I want to focus on the stuff that changes how you work, not just the patch notes. The big headliner is dynamic workflows, and this one's a research preview living inside Claude code. Here's the idea. Instead of Claude tackling a massive job one step at a time, it can now write itself a plan in JavaScript and spin up a whole swarm of sub-agents to work in parallel, then stitch all their results back together at the end. You kick it off just by including the word workflow in your prompt. There are guardrails, of course. Up to 16 agents running at once, capped at 1,000 total per run. But think about what that unlocks. We're talking about converting hundreds of thousands of lines of code, fully tested against the existing suite, in a single session. That's not an autocomplete tool anymore. That's closer to handing a task to a team. Next up, and this is the one I think most people will use every single day, the effort slider. On the web app and in Cowork, there's now a control that lets you decide how much reasoning depth Claude pours into each answer. Crank it up and Claude thinks harder and burns more tokens for a thorough response. Dial it down and you get faster, rougher replies for cheap. The default is set to high, which roughly matches what 4.7 used to do automatically. But you can push to extra, called X high in the API, or all the way to max for the truly brutal problems. We'll come back to how to actually use this in a second, because there's a smart way and a wasteful way. Then there's fast mode, another preview. This isn't a different, dumber model. It's the same Opus 4.8 running up to 2.5 times faster. Same quality, lower latency. You turn it on explicitly, either with speed, fast, in the API, or the /fast command in Claude code. And here's the kicker that surprised me. Fast mode on 4.8 is priced 3 times cheaper than it was on previous models. It's perfect for interactive debugging and rapid prompt tweaking. Though for long batch jobs, regular mode is still the cheaper play. A few more quick ones that quietly make your life easier. There are now mid-conversation system messages, which means you can change Claude's instructions partway through a chat, switch its role, update its context, without nuking the whole conversation and starting over. When Claude declines something, the API now hands back refusal stop details, telling you why it refused, which is gold if you're building an app. The prompt caching threshold dropped from around 2,000 tokens to just 1,024, so shorter prompts can now get cached and save you money. And across the board, Anthropic says 4.8 is more honest, flags its own uncertainty better, and, my favorite stat in the whole launch, catches its own mistakes about 4 times more often than 4.7 did. That last one is the difference between an assistant you have to babysit and one you can actually trust on a long task. Where Opus 4.8 actually shines. Use cases. So all that power, what do you point it at? Let me give you the 4 buckets where this model genuinely separates from the pack, and you'll probably recognize at least one of your own projects in here. The most obvious is serious software engineering, large-scale code generation, refactoring across many files, hunting down bugs in a big, messy repo. This is 4.8's home turf. With dynamic workflows on top, Claude Code can orchestrate an entire repository migration from one language to another and test it against your existing suite as it goes. If you've ever stared down a legacy codebase and felt your soul leave your body, this is the use case that should make you sit up. Close behind are agentic workflows, tasks that need the model to hold a long thread and reason across many steps. Because of that million token window, Claude can carry a project across sessions, remember earlier details, and keep its footing on something that unfolds over hours. Anthropic points to data analysis agents that build slide decks, research assistants that carry findings forward, legal assistants chewing through long contracts. The theme is the same. Jobs that used to fall apart because the model lost the plot halfway through. Third is enterprise knowledge work. And quick question before I move on. Drop it in the comments. How big is the biggest document you've ever tried to get an AI to summarize? And did it choke? Because this is where the context window earns its keep. Feeding 4.8 a giant knowledge base or a 100-page PDF and getting back a coherent summary is exactly the kind of thing it's built for. And finance and legal customers are reporting fewer mistakes and better token efficiency on dense documents. And fourth, quieter but real. Advanced research and education, complex tutoring, technical writing, multi-part reasoning problems. The same deep thinking engine that powers the coding wins makes it a genuinely strong study and drafting partner. Modes and settings, the part that separates pros from everyone else. This is the section I'd actually rewatch if I were you, because this is where that Ferrari in first gear thing from the intro gets fixed. Let's go through the dials one by one. Effort levels are your main lever. You've got low, medium, high, the default, X high, that's the extra setting, and max. Here's the mental model that made it click for me. Low through high all cost the same per token. You only pay more because the higher settings naturally generate more reasoning tokens. So the move is to match effort to the job. Quick drafts and throwaway iterations. Low or medium, save your tokens. Final production answers and hard coding or agentic tasks. Push to X high. In the web app, it's the slider. Through the API, you set output_config, effort high, or whatever level you need. On adaptive thinking, and this trips people up, you can't turn it off, and you can't set a fixed thinking budget. It's the only mode 4.8 runs. The model itself decides when to reason step by step versus answer directly. So you don't manage it. You just trust it and let the effort slider do the steering. Fast versus standard speed we touched on. But to be concrete, fast mode is a setting, not a separate model. Same 4.8 brain, lower latency, build at a higher per token rate. Reach for it during interactive work and rapid testing. Leave it off for big overnight batch jobs where cost adds up. Mid-conversation system prompts are the power move most people will never discover. Mid-task, you can drop in a new role. System message. Say, now answer as a history professor. And Claude shifts instructions without losing any of the chat history. In agent loops, this is how you adjust permissions or swap context on the fly without burning everything down and rebuilding. And prompt caching is the quiet money saver. If you reuse the exact same system prompt, a big style guide, a standing set of instructions, Claude caches it and charges you dramatically less on the repeats, up to around 90% off. With the new 1024 token floor, even modest prompts qualify now. Reuse your prompts verbatim and let the discounts stack up in the background. Tips and examples you can use today. Let's get practical, because theory is nice, but you came here to actually do something. Here's how this looks in the wild. For API access, you set model. Claude Opus 4.8 in your request and you're off. Pass your messages array. Include any system instructions as the first message. Done. Whether you're in a Cloudflare worker, hitting it with curl, or using Postman, the shape is the same. The example in the docs is just a standard messages call asking Claude to explain recursion. And back comes a clean reply. For setting effort, drop that output_config.effort field into your JSON, or grab the slider in Claude Code. Tough coding? X high. Need it snappy? Low. Or just omit it and ride the high default. Remember the trade. More effort, more tokens, but usually a meaningfully better answer on the hard stuff. For fast mode, add speed, fast, and make sure speed credits are enabled, or toggle /fast in Claude Code. Great for rapid testing at roughly 2.5 times the speed. Just remember, each token costs a little more, so keep it to shorter interactions. For mid-conversation adjustments, you literally just insert a new system message like role:system, content:. Now switch to answering as a history professor, and Claude carries on under the new rules, with the context intact. And for error handling, when a request gets refused, check stop_reason plus the new stop_details.category so your app knows whether it hit a safety wall, a policy mismatch, or a formatting issue, and can respond accordingly. A couple of pro habits to close out. On prompt design, lean into that huge context. Feed longer documents and histories than you ever could before. But keep your reusable prompts identical, so caching kicks in, and skip the needless repetition. To trigger dynamic workflows in Claude Code v2.1 and up, write something like run a workflow to, or use a command like /deep-research, and Claude breaks the job across sub-agents. Just remember it's still in preview, so the APIs may shift. One honest heads up, 4.8 is text only, no image or audio input. Anthropic saving multimodal for the upcoming Mythos class models. And on cost, use batch mode for big jobs. Cache aggressively, and watch your token meter when you're running X high effort, or workflows that can spawn up to 1,000 agents. because that adds up fast. So let's bring it home. Claude Opus 4.8 isn't just a bigger number on the box. It's a bigger context window, smarter adaptive thinking, those parallel dynamic workflows, and the effort controls that let you decide exactly how hard the model works. Remember the through line from the very start of this video. The model was never the bottleneck. The settings were. So here's your quick start checklist. Start with high or X high effort for demanding work. Drop to low or medium for quick drafts. Flip on fast mode when you need speed and you're working interactively. Use mid-conversation system messages to steer without restarting. Explore dynamic workflows if you've got a genuinely huge code or research job. Always test your prompts and tune effort to the task. And lean on prompt caching and batching to keep your token bill sane. If even one of these settings changes how your next session goes, and I'd bet money at least one will, do me a favor and hit subscribe. Because this is exactly the kind of practical AI breakdown I do here every week. And I genuinely want to know in the comments, which of these are you trying first? The effort slider, fast mode, or are you brave enough to unleash a 1,000-agent workflow? Tell me below, and keep an eye out, because Mythos-class multimodal models are reportedly coming soon, and you know I'll break those down the moment they land. Now go open Claude, flip a few of those dials, and watch what happens. Happy experimenting.